By the end of this video, we will be able to understand the structure and function of DNA. Before going into details, kindly subscribe our channel so you don't miss these interesting factual videos. Introduction to DNA. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is an essential molecule found in the nucleus of living organisms' cells. It can be compared to a book of genetic instructions that determines how an organism develops and functions. Discovery of DNA. Early mentions. During the mid-1980s and early 1990s, scientists explored trait inheritance in organisms through experiments with peas and flies. However, they were not able to get to complete understanding of control mechanisms. Key discovery. In 1953, scientists discovered the double-helix structure of DNA, using data from other scientists. This revealed how DNA stores genetic information. Significance. The discovery of DNA's structure revolutionized biology and genetics, allowing for a better understanding of inheritance and evolution. From a chemical perspective, DNA is a polymer of nucleotides, in other words, a polynucleotide. A polymer is a compound formed by many simple units connected to each other. Composition. Double helix structure. DNA resembles a twisted ladder with two strands containing groups of 4 nitrogenous bases, adenine, A, cytosine, C, guanine, G, and thymine, T. Base pairing. The bases are paired in the helix, specifically A pairs with T, and C pairs with G nucleotides. Nucleotides are the basic units of DNA, composed of a phosphate group, P, a sugar, deoxyribose, and a nitrogenous base, A, C, G, or T, that encodes genetic information. Basic functions of DNA. Information storage. DNA stores the genetic information that determines the characteristics and functions of an organism. Replication. DNA can make exact copies of itself, which is essential for cell division and growth. Transcription and translation. DNA is transcribed into RNA and then translated into proteins, which control cellular activities. Inheritance. DNA is inherited from generation to generation and is responsible for passing traits from parents to offspring. DNA replication process. DNA replication is the process by which the DNA molecule is duplicated before a cell divides. It begins with the separation of the two complementary DNA strands, followed by the construction of new complementary strands from available nucleotides. It is essential for cell reproduction and inheritance. Steps of DNA replication. Strand separation. The two DNA strands unwind and separate, breaking the hydrogen bonds between complementary bases AT, CG. Complementation. Free nucleotides pair with the exposed bases on each strand, following the rules of complementarity. Formation of new strands. 2 new DNA strands are formed, one for each original strand, using the paired nucleotides as building blocks. 2 DNA molecules. The result is the formation of 2 DNA molecules, identical to the original, ready for cell division. Importance in cell division. DNA replication is crucial during cell division, mitosis and meiosis, as it ensures that each daughter cell receives an exact copy of the genetic information. Without accurate replication, genetic errors and cellular dysfunctions could occur. DNA, genes, and chromosomes. DNA is the molecule that forms genes, and multiple genes are grouped into chromosomes. Chromosomes are present in the nucleus of every cell and contain all the genetic information of an organism. Genes and chromosomes are same, but different at the same time. Chromosome. Chromosomes are structures formed by DNA and proteins that house multiple genes in the cell nucleus. Genes. Genes are segments of DNA that contain instructions for protein synthesis and determine hereditary traits. Where are we now? 19th century. A scientist conducted experiments with peas that revealed patterns of inheritance. However, he did not know that these patterns were related to DNA. 20th century. In the 20th century, it was discovered that DNA is the molecule that carries genetic information. This revolutionized genetics and biology. At present, DNA sequencing and genetic engineering enable a deep study of genes and their influence on inheritance. What makes us different or similar? This is the biological process through which organisms transmit genetic traits, such as physical traits and behavior patterns, to their offspring by transferring genetic material, which may include DNA or RNA in the case of various organisms. This transmission of genetic information contributes to the continuity and diversity of species on Earth. Genetic transmission. Inheritance involves the transmission of genetic information from parents to offspring, determining characteristics in the progeny. Diversity of traits. Through inheritance, biological traits are perpetuated and diversified in all species on Earth. Continuity of species. Inheritance is essential for the continuity and adaptation of species over generations. Thanks for watching. To learn more, just visit and subscribe our YouTube channel. Link in description.